with. You see it's on the same beach that's just outside Bali. It's a 5-star hotel like you're staying in at the moment. People arrive and you have patients arrive at this hospital and they sort of think that we're going to cure everything, and we don't really cure anything at all, is the truth. The other place that I do a lot of work with, or used to do a lot of work with, is St. Thomas's Hospital. It's a hospital that has really gained fame for its allergy work in LEAP studies and EAT studies and all these major publications. So that's my background as a clinician. This is the country I come from, and I showed this to my mum, actually, because this is like being on the front cover of Vogue or Cosmopolitan or something, where you're sitting there, and this is the British Medical Journal, and the editor said to us, we'd really want to put the picture on the front. And then he sent us the picture and he said, this is a cow feeding a human. We are the only animal that gives milk from another animal, and we think it's completely normal. It's the most bizarre thing we can do. And in England, the person's fault it was the person who won World War II for England. Winston Churchill wanted to give milk to every single baby in the UK because there was no milk supply, because everyone was working in the factories and stuff. And this tradition is still a tradition in the UK, where primary schools or children under the age of 11 are given milk. Yeah. Let's see, it's a fascinating thing. Yeah. Let's see. So milk allergy, or cow's milk allergy, as John alluded to, is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Yeah. You get some fascinating allergies like seafood allergies and bird nest allergies, which is where people climb up cliffs and get very expensive birds' nests and take the spittle and see. But most places you'll see uniform allergies, except some like peanuts that are in the US and in the UK, but not existent in Israel, which was the basis of the LEAP study, because Israelis and Southeast Asians eat peanuts in their diet really early. So early introduction of foods can prevent allergies. The one that seems to be a problem, because you have to drink it right from the get-go, whether it's breast milk or human milk or breast milk substitutes like infant formula, is milk. And the reported rate is 2.5 to 3% in the world. But again, as John alluded to, it's probably much more common in those fussy babies, or what we call non-IG mediated allergies. So in the UK, we report the same rates, and you see, and even in countries that are emerging, China, India, you're seeing high rates of milk allergy. But don't forget the mum who is breastfeeding. Yeah. And it's probably not just related to breast milk, cow's milk protein passing through the breast milk. It may be related to some of the protein contents that are in mother's milk that these babies are reacting. So it can occur in formula-fed, mixed-fed, as well as breastfed babies. And if you really want to learn more about all the literature that's ever been written about breastfed babies that have clinical gastroenterological problems, myself and the person who I work with very closely, Roseanne Mayer, just literally a month or two ago, we were both the co-chairs of IARCI, which is the equivalent of ESPGHAN, for allergy, had to write a position statement, and the position statement was just published a few months ago, about what breastfeeding does for gastrointestinal disorders and milk allergies, what it affects the volumes, and the various other things for those of you who put mums on restriction diets, and you'll see. And it's a very big summary of every piece of literature that's been available, ranging from benign proctocolitis or bleeding in the stools, all the way to complex issues called eosinophilic esophagitis. I've not given you the details, but it's something that is very easy to read and is open access, and is IARCI's position statement. And that's breastfeeding in milk allergy in breastfeeding mums exclusively. This was not about formula-fed babies at all. Everyone knows someone who is allergic. If you look at Southeast Asia, at the time that the Thai king had died, a very sad day for mourning, this article in the BBC that showed the whole world is becoming allergic, and they related to the hygiene hypothesis, which is a bit naive because, we know that that's not the full explanation. The bit I really loved about this article was nothing to do with this or this, was this one. Nigerian leader gets warning from wife. I, I thought, what's news about that? We all get warnings from our wife all the time. So anyway, but there you go. It's my perverse way of looking at articles. So allergies are increasing, there's no doubt. We have things where urticaria or red rashing is increasing, anaphylaxis is keeping the accident emergencies busy, eczema is sort of bottoming out, but food anaphylaxis is rising and rising and rising. It's a tsunami. We are all, as clinicians, being hit by these problems. So everyone knows someone that's allergic. But if you take, again, data that is local to here, the Aussies and the Kiwis, what they show is if you look at non-infectious, so we're going from communicable diseases to non-communicable diseases, when you look at the rates of allergic gastroenteritis, so children who are ending up in accident and emergency, the thing that's significantly increased in terms of diarrhea-related accident and emergency visits is cow's milk allergy and food allergies going to the accident emergency because these babies are more than just fussy babies. They're actually screaming with loose stools. And personally, when I think about cow's milk allergy, I think about upper gut symptoms and lower gut symptoms. And if you have the combination of reflux, back arching, stiffening, screaming, and diarrhea, it gives me much more conviction that this is a milk allergy rather than this a child who's just puking a little bit. So just to think about upper and lower guts. And this is the same in New Zealand as well. So, we are facing this from the accident and emergency department all the way to the clinical rooms as well. Sorry, just one too many. So I just want to show you some videos. So everyone looks at allergy, and when we talk to patients, we sit there and go, they have one thing in their mind. They have this one. So we could run the first video. So this is, I don't know if you know Pete Smith, who works out of Perth. He sent me this. And this was a video that his friend sent him. So this baby's been given yogurt. The sound's not on this one, but the baby's beginning to drool. See it obstructing? And if you could hear it, it's got stridor. So this baby's about to go into arrest or about to have an anaphylaxis. So why someone would video this baby, probably see the video's dying and the child might as well, is that you want to be giving this child adrenaline. You don't want to be videoing this child. That's IgE-mediated allergy. It's what everyone recognizes as allergy, or they recognize this famous picture of obstruction. And these two are what people call allergy. Now, colloquially, people think of the word intolerance, or what we call non-Ig-mediated or delayed hypersensitivity. And what they're seeing is this. Can you play this video? This got sound. So this is a real video where the mum on YouTube we approached. And we asked her, this is on YouTube, and she wanted to show her child only an hour or two after ingestion of cow's milk, what's happening. The child's crying, pain, and what she's going to show is abdominal distension.
No, if it gets to it.
This isn't colic. Yeah. This child's over the age of colic. It's back arching, stiffening, sweating, distressed, dark rings around the eyes.
What are you thinking? You don't feel good right now.
And we're only about an hour and 10 to 2 minutes after vomiting. After the actual ingestion of cow's milk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just before just after your breakfast. But this condition is a new condition called FPIES. Yeah? It's basically food protein-induced enterocolitis syndrome. It's quick. It's almost like anaphylaxis. These children go into accident emergency. They vomit and vomit and vomit. It's so profuse, people think they're shocked. So this is the non-IgE version of this. These are what people recognize as allergy, and these are what people recognize also as allergy. And the allergists really like this topic because they can understand it. They ingest something and you get a response. here. What they don't like is this. Well, they don't mind this one because it's wasting. This is also what we call non-IG mediated, because it's not always food driven. It's often driven by a skin defect of genetics called filaggrin. So these are all non-IgE, and these are IgE. These people generally think of these as the word intolerance or low-grade allergy. So non-IgE and IgE. But allergies are a threat. Our bodies want something to do and they're under attack, and we have various components of your immune system that recognize threat, and Roberto will talk more about dendritic eosinophilic cells, or in conditions called eosinophilic gastrointestinal disorders. And then you have memory T cells, and you have mast cells, and the release of these products are the nasties that cause all these red rashes. But when you're under attack, you need to protect yourself. These are surveying, and it's an amplification response. So you can imagine in FPIEs or in anaphylaxis, these recognize antigen. There's a breach through the barrier, what we call the epithelium, so there's a barrier breach. Eczema is the classic barrier breach. You get sensitization through eczema and other conditions. The body recognizes the problem, and then you get a cascade of reactions in which you get loosening of the blood vessels, you get leakage, you get mast cell response, substance P, which is motility related, and then you get vasoactive peptides that all release and cause multi-systemic effects. So imagine this happening. It's not going to stop unless we find a way to stop it, or we actually modify by improving the epithelium